Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most legendary tales, a story of strategy, deception, and a giant wooden horse that changed the course of an entire civilization. Get ready, because we're unraveling the incredible legend of the Trojan horse. For 10 long, brutal years, the mighty Achaean army had besieged the formidable city of Troy. Day in and day out, they threw everything they had at Troy's impenetrable walls. But the city stood strong, defended by its fierce warriors and the blessings of the gods. The war had reached a stalemate, morale was low, and both sides were exhausted. It seemed like Troy would never fall. But then, a brilliant mind stepped forward, the cunning Odysseus, king of Ithaca. He was known not just for his bravery, but for his intellect and his knack for inventive solutions. Odysseus understood that brute force alone wouldn't win this war. A new approach was needed, something unexpected, something that would turn Troy's own strength against it. And that's when he conceived of one of the most audacious plans ever devised, the Trojan horse. The idea was simple, yet utterly audacious. The Achaeans would pretend to give up, pack their bags, and sail away, leaving behind a massive, hollow wooden horse as a gift to the Trojans, an offering to the gods for a safe voyage home. But this wasn't just any gift. Inside its belly, hidden in plain sight, would be a select group of the Achaeans' finest warriors, led by Odysseus himself. Building such a colossal structure was no small feat. The Achaean carpenters and craftsmen worked tirelessly, constructing a horse so grand it would seem like a fitting tribute. Imagine the scene: the Achaean camp, once bustling with soldiers and war machines, slowly dismantling, ships being prepared. It must have looked incredibly convincing to the Trojan scouts watching from atop their walls. To make the deception even more believable, they left one man behind, Sinon. His role was crucial. He was to tell the Trojans a fabricated story about the horse. He would claim that he had been left as a sacrifice by the Achaeans, and that the horse was an offering to the goddess Athena, built so large specifically to prevent the Trojans from taking it inside their city. He'd say that if the Trojans brought it within their walls, it would bring them divine protection and guarantee their victory. If they burned it or destroyed it, terrible misfortune would befall them. Can you imagine the dilemma for the Trojans? They'd been fighting for a decade. Now, their enemies seemed to be retreating, leaving behind this magnificent, almost divine offering. Many Trojans were wary, including the wise prophetess Cassandra, whose prophecies were always true but never believed, and the priest Laocoon. Laocoon even warned them, famously exclaiming, "Beware of Greeks bearing gifts." He even tried to strike the horse with a spear, and later, he and his sons were devoured by sea serpents. An act interpreted by the Trojans as a sign of divine wrath for doubting the horse. This seemingly supernatural event only strengthened Sinon's story and convinced the war-weary Trojans. Overjoyed at the apparent end of the war and the promise of divine favor, they tore down a section of their own impregnable walls to bring the giant wooden horse into their city. What a sight that must have been, the very walls that had protected them for so long, breached by their own hands. That night, Troy celebrated its victory. They feasted, drank, and reveled in their newfound peace, utterly oblivious to the silent danger lurking within their celebration. As the city fell into a drunken sleep, the brave Achaean warriors, led by Odysseus, emerged from the horse's belly. Silently, they opened the city gates, signaling to the Achaean fleet, which had secretly returned under the cover of darkness. What followed was a swift and devastating assault. The Achaean army, now inside the city walls, caught the Trojans completely by surprise. The decade-long siege ended in a single night of chaos and destruction. Troy, the magnificent city that had defied them for so long, finally fell. The tale of the Trojan horse isn't just a story of war. It's a timeless legend about the power of clever strategy over brute force, the dangers of hubris, and the devastating consequences of deception. It reminds us that sometimes the greatest threats come disguised as gifts, and that vigilance is always key. This story has resonated through centuries, influencing literature, art, and even modern-day expressions like the term Trojan horse itself, used to describe anything that seems harmless but secretly carries a hidden danger. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the enduring power of a truly compelling narrative. So, what do you think about Odysseus's daring plan? Would you have fallen for the Trojan horse? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into ancient history, please hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.